What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USD. It is the third day of January in this brand new year of 2026, and here we are at about $90,100 with 9 hours and 17 minutes left in the day. Hit that like button, subscribe, and let's get into it, my friends. I haven't made a video in the past 6 days, and I think that's the longest stint without making a video that I've had in years. I intended on making a video every single day. It didn't happen. There wasn't a proper moment to do so, and there was really no pressing matters to talk about. Bitcoin basically just went sideways, except for the last 24 hours, we're up a little bit. There's some news about Venezuela in the United States right now, but I'm sure we're all aware of that, right? There's nothing pressing that really engaged me to make videos, and beyond that, I was just enjoying my time with my family. I felt like every moment that I had there was precious and not something that I was, videos were not the primary concern while I was down there. So now I'm back in the saddle, back home, back at the desk. The primary concern is to get this video done, to get the technical analysis done. I want to give you guys the TA, but I just want to let you guys know. First and foremost, I'm sorry. I'm kind of trying to say I'm sorry because I did intend on making videos every single day, and I just didn't do it. Which that's not normally like me. But again, it didn't feel right, more or less, to make any videos over the past week. But now I'm back in the saddle, so there's no excuses. Let's get into it. I'm done talking. Done with that intro. Speaking of intros, here's one that you've heard before if you've been watching the channel. We're going to talk about this area here. Okay, we have essentially done exactly what we expected we would do back in November back on the 21st of November here, right? From this low, exactly what we expected to do, right? You've heard this before, but I've got all the lines set up so it shouldn't take that long. The RSI on the 21st of November hit this low point here. Okay, it's very uncommon to go this low. First off, right, most of the lows are higher, and secondly, it's very uncommon to go below this low. But I took the liberty of going back to January of 2022 and identifying every single time that we touched this white line, not got close to it, not reached for it, not got oversold, but actually touched it. Here we got very, very close, but that's close enough, I think. This one's not as close. This one's like very, very close. All these times that we touched this line, or cross through it, I want to go through and analyze that real quick just so we all have a steady understanding of what's going on here, okay? Now, first and foremost, coming down to this white line and bouncing here is not bullish in itself, okay? Here in 2022, January, we touched this line on the RSI, and I put all these green vertical lines there to correspond with those levels, right? We touched the white line here. Maybe I was off by a day. It's like probably right here on this day. We still, after consolidating, went down. But before we went down, before we progressed lower, we did consolidate, more or less. We consolidated for about 103 days. It's like the better part of 4 months right there, right? That's quite literally like 3.5 months right there. And then we broke out to the downside, right? And it wasn't just a straight shot all the way down, but we did break out to the downside. We moved lower. We moved up. We found our high 66 days later, and then we started to move down. We moved up, we found our high, and by the time it was 103 days later, that was when we broke out. We go to this example right here, and we consolidated here. We found our high about 60 days later. Okay, 58 days, 66 days, pretty close. And then we broke out, more or less, started to make our move down 141 days later. So that's a little bit of a longer time there, but still a very long, sideways, boring phase in the markets, right? If you're in a bear market, this was the exciting part, and this was the exciting part. Everything in between was just a stall, a moment, a lagging phase in between this transition and this transition here to the downside, right? We go to the next one, right here on the green, the green line here, right? From the time that we started to consolidate, from the time that our RSI was at this low point, we found our high here about 35 days later, about a month later. But now we're starting to move up. Now we're starting to move up, and I would say this move really probably started, let's say, somewhere around there, 62 days later. Again, 62 days, 58 days here, 66 days. It seems as though significant things start to happen around that marker, right? Now we're in a bull market. Now we're not in a bear market. So instead of measuring where the high is of each of these consolidation phases, I'm going to measure where the low is, okay? Here, we hit this line right here, the RSI, right? We crossed through that line, and we did consolidate. We consolidated. We didn't really start to break out until here, about 60 days. It was about 60 days. From here, from this low, we did find a lower low, and it was about 25 days later, okay? About 25 days later. That was when we found the lower low. That's when the low of this move happened, but we were consolidating for about 60 days before we broke out to the upside. Here, with this line, and this line probably should have been moved here. It's probably off by a day. I'm not exactly perfect with all of it, but the low was found roughly 42 days later. This time, this was a very long stint here, we did not break out. We did not really start to see our move that broke us out. It didn't begin until about 108 days later. We've seen that before, this kind of 100-day level where you move sideways, you're sideways more or less, and then we start to move up. But it's probably around here. Maybe we could cheat it and say that over here was the beginning of this move, maybe. I mean, that kind of works, right? I feel like that might have been the beginning of the move, but you're still in this range overall. So I would just say you didn't really start breaking out until here, until there. I mean, really, this was the meat of your move, your real breakout, but I feel like at this point you're breaking out of your trend, right? You're breaking out of that there. So that was the beginning. Anyways, I'm getting distracted here. Let's move on. This wasn't supposed to take this long. We take the low here, and you can see that we did find lower lows. We found a lower low here. The low itself of that range came in 40 days later, and we started to break out. We really started to break out about 60 days later, 54 days later. 54 days here, 42 days when we found the low. We didn't break out until 108 days. Broke out at 59 days here, found the low at 25 days, right? Now, fast forward to this moment here. We found our low, and we have not seen a lower low, and it has been 43 days now. Now, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but I think it's somewhat conceivable, right? Shouldn't be impossible, that we could still see a lower low. We could still see a lower low. We're getting to that point. We are clearly closer to the end of this consolidation phase, right? We're not going to, I mean, I would assume we're not going to be here for 100 days, but who knows? Maybe we are halfway through right now. Imagine we've been consolidating since the 21st like this in this BART-like boring range with low liquidity and low volume, and we're only halfway through. This was to extend out to something like 90 days. It really could be, and I said this back here, and I didn't really expect it to be the outcome. I don't expect it to be the outcome now, but it could be the end of February. It could even be March before we start to really move up. It really could be. Everybody was expecting from this move that now we are going to make a serious V-shaped recovery, or now we are going to plummet to zero. And I'm like, because we're at such extreme polarizations here of what the price should do, we're probably just going to move sideways. Fudge everybody who's short and long. 43 days. We've been in this range for 43 days. And if you haven't gathered anything from this data, let me just spell it out for you, okay? We are close to the point at which we should start to see a directional heading come into view. We have been moving sideways. There is no directional heading. What do you mean? We're moving up now, C-Zar. Yeah. We're moving up now just like we were here. We're moving up now just like we were moving down here. No, we're moving sideways. There's no directional heading. We should see a shift coming in, I would think, in the next 17 days, more or less, right? It's 43 days, right around the 60th day, that's when it is. And that shift, let's see, if we went to 60 days, that's right there on the 20th of January. On the 16th of January, there are a ton of calls and puts options that expire on that day for MicroStrategy and probably for various other crypto things as well. There's a lot of big things going on in January from a regulatory standpoint too, and all kinds of stuff related to crypto. I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't the beginning of this month, even halfway through this month, but the latter part of this month, or perhaps even the beginning of February, that we start to actually choose a side in which we go. In other words, my friends, likely from here, with the analysis we've done so far, this is not anything really to get excited about. It's the highest day of the close. Yes, we're back above 90K. Woohoo, it's great, but we've seen this happen before, right? And I wouldn't be surprised. Every single one of those moments in the bear markets, we had a high in price. We had higher highs, right? On the bull markets, we had lower lows. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we did see a lower low. I'm not necessarily calling for that. If we do see a lower low, I'm not going to be like, I was right, I told you, because I'm not quite there yet. There is a strong chance that this is the low, and I think compared to any other reactions we've seen so far in this bull market, this is a stronger reaction. We're not seeing lower lows. It's been 43 days and we haven't seen a lower low. That's actually pretty uncommon given the data that we've we've had this whole bull market. I mean, even when you started to consolidate here, you had lower lows. You had lower lows throughout all this, right? It didn't take you 43 days to get there. You had them sooner than that. But and again, I really wouldn't be surprised if this was the low. But again, if we do go lower, we've done this before, it shouldn't concern anybody, or maybe it concerns a lot of people, and then we bounce from there. I would bet right now, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, I would bet that Bitcoin does not go below $79,000, $78,000 this year. But I would not bet that we don't go below this low. We very well could. And again, I want to be clear. I'm not saying I bet we do go below this low. I'm just saying I wouldn't bet that we don't. I'm not betting on it. I'm just not betting against it. It wouldn't surprise me, but it's not my call. So again, if we go down here, I'm not trying to make this wordplay where I'm saying this and then whenever it goes down there, I'm like, I was right. Even though I'm picking both sides, I'm right. No, I'm thinking that we still move down from here. I don't think that we go lower than this low. I just wouldn't be surprised if we did. But again, back to the main point, we're moving up from here. We're only 43 days into this consolidation range. It's the beginning of the year. It's the beginning of the month. I don't trust this pump at all, and I wouldn't be surprised. I think we have time, right? We have like 2 weeks or more, 2 to 3 weeks, maybe even more than that, before we actually need to start breaking out of this, right? And seeing some directional shifts happening. We can absolutely move down and probably do move down in the meantime, right? 1 hour time frame. We look at this here. A lot of volume over the past hour. Over the past hours, over the past day here. That's nice to see. 1 hour RSI, we are finding resistance up here. You look bullish overall, very, very bullish. I mean, you're getting overbought, you're not getting oversold. Stochastics look good, bouncing off the oversold zone. I mean, this would disagree with what I was saying about coming back down, at least for right now. You look like you want to come up, so you probably do. We're at $90,000 right now. You probably do continue to move up over the day. 4 hour time frame looks bullish on the RSI, stochastics, and the MACD. Yeah, we probably do go a little bit higher. Bitcoin doing its thing, messing with people, playing with them left and right? As soon as you get this higher high here, that's whenever you come down. As soon as you get below these lows here, that's when you come up, right? Like that's literally what's happening. Well, we got a higher high here, now we're coming down. I wouldn't be surprised in the least if we had like a quote unquote breakout. We broke out of this range, and then as soon as we did that, that's where we topped off. So maybe some type of retracement then that's between this high point here and this low point here. A retracement like that. We're at the golden ratio. I would think we go to the 786, 886, probably no higher than 93.4K, but most likely I think we would go to that 92.3, 92.4K area, if not higher. 92.3, 92.4, 93.4K, somewhere in this area here. That's what I would expect. If not, if we don't push this high, then we will get tied up at this level here. Maybe we come up for a double top or something like that. That could happen as well, in which that'd be weaker. Look for that double top. If it is a double top, we'd make a move up like this, and there should be extremely different levels of volume than what we saw here, right? This high had a lot of volume. This one, I'm not talking about extremely different as in like it would come up here or even right here. I'm talking about we wouldn't get much higher than where we are now in volume if we pushed here. If we have very low volume as we're pushing up, we're probably going to come back down, right? Let's just see. Like this right here, right? Here you are breaking out. Right? You're breaking out. Here is your volume coming into this move right here, this little V-shaped recovery. Your volume at the top was insignificant. It was completely insignificant. It was that bar right there. Insignificant, below average. So you reject it back down. If we see something like that, then we probably don't push higher. Okay? But I wouldn't be surprised at all if we went to 92.4 to 93.4. Okay? That's the expectation at the moment. Okay? And I won't be bullish there. Won't be. I still am. I'm anticipating again, and I got a little distracted, that we don't go below this low, but I am anticipating that we go below these lows. I'm anticipating we go below these lows. I'm not anticipating that we go below these lows. And if I'm wrong, great, prove me wrong. I become wrong the moment that we get daily closes above 93.4K, which is the top level of that range that I gave you, 93.4K. We start closing daily, not moving above there, not getting above there, not wicking above there. I'm talking about daily candles closing above 93.4K, then I'm wrong. And then all the bears are wrong, and we're moving up. And I do assume from this range, I do assume that we will break out to the upside. I just don't think we're in the breakout phase yet. We've got a little bit more of this month to go. Once we get toward this last third of the month here, this area here, that should be when we start to see some life come back for Bitcoin. And when I say start to see some life, maybe we see that life come from this price. Maybe we're moving up and then we're moving down and we see that life come in from a lower price. Maybe we don't go below these lows. A lot can change and a lot likely will change in my expectations over the next couple of weeks. But more or less, we will be right here or somewhere in this range. More or less, we should be here over the next 2 weeks. I don't expect anything too exciting to happen. So continue to stack your cash, wait for those dips, buy those dips. If you can't wait, this little pump right here is causing some FOMO in you. Don't let me hold you back. But again, if you are going to buy in these quote unquote exciting times, it's really not exciting at all. If you are to buy in moments where we're moving up, accept that you're buying there and don't panic if we drop. Okay, don't panic if we drop. The people who panicked when we dropped last time, they're probably not happy right now, right? There were a lot of people who sold once we broke this line right here. There were a lot of people that sold here at literally the low, right? There were a lot of people that bought as we saw these slightly higher highs every single time. So the price is not your friend right now. It is lying to us. And until we get something that's more decisive, until we get something that is outside of this range, my thoughts are that we will continue to be in this range, at least till the end of January. That really is my thought, is it'll be the end of January, but it could be sometime in February, if not later. It's even possible to be in March that we still stay in this range before we break out. But I don't really have anything else that I want to say. The daily RSI, the stochastics, the MACD, everything looks good, but what, I guess something to address would be, again, on the note of coming down, expecting a dump here, maybe over the coming days, maybe over the coming, probably over the coming weeks as well. And when I say a dump, I don't mean like this. I just mean we probably do go back below like 85K, or at the very least below 87K. The stochastics are overbought. They've reset. They're ready to go down, right? The last time we were overbought, we came down. We went from 94K all the way down to 84K, right? So we're at 90K now. By that definition, we could drop down to 80K. We could see a lower low than this, right? The time before that, when we were overbought, we moved sideways. We moved sideways for a little bit, and then we got overbought, and then we sold off. We got overbought here, and then we sold off, right? This is more of a reset, and we are in a more bearish posturing than a bullish posturing, in my opinion, right now. It would make sense on the stochastics that these need to cool off a little bit, and we'd probably spend the rest of the month bringing these stochastics down. That doesn't mean that the price has to plummet, but it just means we're probably not going to continue doing this for the rest of the month. I would bet that we do come down. The MACD is green. We've got a lot of green here. We don't really have anything to show for it. Okay, so I am thoroughly expecting that we pull back from these prices after we hit that 92.3 to 93.4K area. And if I'm wrong, maybe we don't go up that high. Maybe we just stop here and then we pull back. But at some point here, whether it's up a little bit higher, whether it's right here, we get a double top and then we come down, whatever it is, I would expect and do fully expect that we will see prices below 87K again, probably next week or by the end of this week. Probably by the end of this week, if not next week. Genuinely, we'll be back below 87K, and likely we find a low that is either very near these lows or more likely below those lows there. That's my expectation. And then from there, we should start to recover. It should be the end of the month, going into February. I expect February to be the month everybody's looking for. A lot of people expect January to be the month because it's new beginnings. It's a new year. It's 2026. We're going to start things off on the right note. It's exactly why I think we're going to crush everybody's hopes. January will probably close red. Let's see. Bitcoin has now closed 3 red months in a row. 3 red months in a row. You guys, we haven't seen Bitcoin close more than 3 red months in a row since the bear market back in 2018. It'd be crazy if January closed red, but it could. It's very possible. Anyways, I've got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.